Yes, you may.
Okay. To start, I'd like to show you a number really quick. $58,000. That was the starting salary for U.S. teachers in 2018. In 2016, this number was even lower, at $38,000. That's 20% less than any other college professions require with a degree. This information was found in a survey which was reported in Time magazine titled The Life of the American Teacher, published in 2018. Teachers work extremely hard and don't get paid nearly enough for what they do. Cassidy, Lippard, King, and Lower discussed the importance of teachers in their article, Improving the Lives of Teachers in the Early Care and Education Field to Better Support Children and Family, which was published in 2019. The research found that the low salaries of teachers often leads to a high risk of teachers leaving the field entirely. This subject is extremely important to me because in the future, I want to be a teacher, and the low salaries that teachers receive is the biggest concern for me. Teachers are struggling to make a living across the country. It's especially prevalent for women teachers who are still struggling with the pay gap. With such small salaries, teachers can't afford to pay for higher education if they wish. Many teachers love to teach, but they are not getting paid enough for what they do. One example of this is Hope Brown, who's a teacher in Kentucky. She makes $60 a week from donating plasma from her blood and also donates clothes to pay for her electric and car bills. She's learned that financial juggling has become a part of her everyday life. She works 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day of the week and then goes somewhere after to work another job. This is a quote from Hope Brown. I truly love teaching, but we are not paid for the work that we do. This shows the struggle that everyday teachers face with having low salaries. Research shows that salaries today are less than they were 30 years ago. In Washington State, the starting salary for teachers is only $45,000, and in Colorado, the salaries are 21% less than they were in 1990. Universities across the country are also producing less graduates with education degrees. A student's success depends on their teacher. They work hard, but they aren't getting paid enough for this. The Value of Smarter Teachers from the Journal of Human Sciences, published in 2019, discusses various research on this topic. They found that teacher quality is crucial on a student's success in academics and in the future. Another article, What Motivates High School Students to Want to Be Teachers, by Han, Borgonovi, and Guerrero, published in 2019, studied this as well. They found that smarter teachers produce smarter students, and that the cognitive skills of teachers need to be extremely high in order for student success. They also found that salary of teachers directly correlates with student success. If teachers have low salaries, students are less likely to be successful in the future. Teachers and some professors already receive extremely low pay. Female teachers are especially struggling in this field. Teaching is a female-dominated field. However, many teachers that are female are still struggling for equal pay. Research shows that in administrative roles, such as dean's roles, women only earn 8 cents on every dollar that men make. An article titled 2 Lawsuits Highlight the Pay Gap for Female Administrators, published in 2018 in the Public Administration Review, looked into this topic. They studied a specific person, Patricia McCorkadale, who was a dean at the University of Arizona. Patricia sued the University of Arizona for discrimination laws for her salary. They found in this article that women in dean's roles face the most severe pay gap out of all administrative roles. McCorkadale said that men in her field were making $70,000 to $100,000 more than she was making. Another article exploring the intensities of the gender pay gap in U.S. higher education, published in the Public Administration Review in 2018, also looked at this. They found that there's a severe pay gap of 6.6% between men and women in the education field. This is extremely high. They also found in the research that being a female is negatively associated with managerial authority. This then leads to pay disparities of women and such a large pay gap. Many educators in the early childhood education field are barely making it by. It's hard for them to afford a lifestyle or even a future. The primary problem that's facing these educators is that they want to go back to school to get better degrees, but they can't afford it because of such low salaries. The demand for teachers has currently been up in the past few years, but many teachers are leaving the field because of the low salaries. According to Ingersoll, who published The Teacher Shortage, Myth or Reality in 2020, found this statistic. Just after 5 years in teaching, 40 to 50% of beginning teachers leave the field entirely. That's half of beginning teachers. Many of these teachers aren't satisfied because of their low salary, poor benefits, and poor support from the Education Board. Early childhood educators have the most influence on kids and affect their future greatly, but they often have the lowest pay of all teachers. Research shows that the median wage for these teachers is around $11 to $20 an hour. Teacher salaries are showing no increase, and many teachers are going on strike. In an article, most teachers say they would go on strike for better pay, published in Education Week 2019 looked into this issue. They found that more than half the country's teachers say they would go on strike for better pay. This is a quote from one of the teachers who went on strike. I work 55 hours a week and have 12 years of experience and make $43,000. This is an extremely low number that barely anyone can make it by on. Many parents are supporting these strikes for teachers because they believe they deserve more than $43,000 a year. These strikes have been taking place across the country over the past few years since 2018. Even though many teachers are striking and many parents are supporting them, there's still no change in sight. Teacher salary is the problem and will most likely be for a long time. The salaries never increase, teachers will constantly struggle, many will leave the field, and this continuous cycle of loss of teachers will continue to grow. Imagine living off a salary of $43,000 and having to work other jobs. No one wants to live a life like this, and teachers of all people don't deserve this.